Hi everybody, I'm Neil Sinclair and this is my brother Brent Sinclair, and we're doing our second video today about our upcoming book release for the end of 2017, which is about choices and outcomes. So the subtitle of the book is Wealth Maker or Drug Taker. It's a true story about us two as brothers over the last 40 years. Over the last 40 years, I've had a life of travel and work and creating greater wealth and helping people create greater wealth. Although in saying that, I'm not saying I'm rich. Okay, I'm doing all right, but I wouldn't say I was rich compared to a lot of people out there. But I've done okay in life. And it's also about Brent, who can tell you a little bit more about his background as well. So Brent, you want to tell him about your background?
I have spent my life trying to destroy my family and myself through drugs and alcohol. I spent years in rehab. I had a subarachnoid hemorrhage, which is a stroke, and it really has totaled me. I spent the last 4 days. A side effect of a stroke is epilepsy, and I'm not feeling taking pity on myself.
That's all right. Just talk the way you want to talk, Brent.
I take the bloody biggest one, of course. I have grand mal seizures, and I don't do things by half. I never do things by half. It's either full on or nothing. And I spent half of last week, the last 4 days last week having epileptic seizures, and it really slows me down for probably the next 6 weeks to come right. So if I've had a bad week, I have lost the IQ of 20 points. I hate this. I want to go back to work, and I can't. I can't even stand on a chair anymore. I used to work on the fishing boats. I used to run them.
So if I can just interlude there, look, just regarding the book and what it's about, is we're going to be talking about our choices and the long-term implications, short, medium, and long-term implications really of the choices. excuse me, the choices we make, and how much thought we actually put into the decisions we make, and the implications of those decisions in our lives. And we're two examples of how we can go down different paths. And it all happened from when our mum died when I was 15 and when Brent was 13, and there was things that we did that we went down different paths on that aspect. So it's ended up in having long-term effects on both of us. Okay, so now the book in itself is that we actually want to target teenagers and the implications of their decisions at high school and stuff, but actually the book talks about choices we make. It's just as pertinent to adults as well, because it talks about decisions we've made as adults and the implications of those as well. So we'll be talking about those things as well in much greater detail. Just to give you an example, this week, I've gone back to work this week. This morning I was out on the bike. I had a 70k cycle ride on a push bike. And unfortunately, Brent hasn't been able to do anything because he's been recovering from his seizures. And even when he doesn't have a seizure, you want to share with him what you do, Brent, during the week?
I read books. I can no longer do anything. I can't get a job. I can't walk. I have to use a walking stick. And it's from someone who I could never slow down. When I was capable of moving, I was gone. I loved fishing and hunting and what all Kiwis love. Well, supposedly, not all, but a lot.
Yeah. As brothers, as young brothers, Brent and I were very active kids. We played rugby together, we did a lot of things, and actually Brent was the better physical specimen than me. He was much better at the sports than what I was. But over the years, unfortunately, with the decisions that we've made, I've gone down one path and he's gone down another, and he's lost the ability to do all that stuff now, which is very sad. But he's dealing with it. He's accepted what he's done, and we want to share those stories and some of the decisions we've made and the implications of those things, and get people to really think about the long-term implications of their decisions. As an example, I decided when I was a teenager, late teens, 18, all my friends, I was in one of the top classes at school, all my friends went to university. I decided not to go to university. I decided to join the Air Force. But however, when I was in my 20s, I decided to study extramurally through Massey University and still do my business degree. And decisions like that, it took me 7 years to get that degree extramurally, but decisions like that have set me up for doing greater things with my life at a later stage, which was always the intention. I'd always planned, and I'd had the foresight to plan to do 20 years in the military, or almost 20 years in the military, and then leave, and I wanted to get into a business. And I did those things because I'd set up the right knowledge, skills, and attitude to achieve those. But still had quite a bit of entrepreneurial flair there as well. Brent, you want to talk about some of your stuff? You've done some of the work you've done over the years.
I went to the fridging works first because the money was better. Everyone else was getting good money, and at that time, I started an apprenticeship as painter and decorator, and I think from memory I got about $20 a week, which at that time was really not even chicken feed. And everyone around me was getting better money, so I went to the freezing works. That was probably the first poor choice I made. The second poor choice I made, a huge one, this is a massive one, was not following my brother into the military. But that was because I was a stubborn little prick and didn't want anyone to tell me what to do.
Still don't, do you?
No, that's the problem.
So nothing's changed there. So some of their characters still remain with us over time. So look, that's about enough for today, really. But look, we are talking about, as a result of those things that we've done, the choice we've made, and the implications of those choices, not just with our work, but also how it affected our lifestyles. Because it's, we all want to do well for ourselves. We want our kids to do well. But look, when we were teenagers, we weren't thinking long term, and I'm not so sure teenagers these days think long term. But hopefully this video will inspire them to consider their thoughts and their actions of where they want to go and what they want to do. And
you don't want to be me.
Certainly don't want to be doing drugs, and you don't want to be going down the route of crime, because eventually you will get caught.
It doesn't pay. It does not.
Right. It just saps your life. It doesn't zap your life, it saps your life. You might be doing drugs to escape things, okay, to escape realities, okay, but it does not actually cure anything. It just creates further pain for you, and that's going to have to be,
eventually you got to face it.
You do.
Bottom line. And whatever you're hiding from, the sooner it's faced, the sooner you can deal with it. But it's the bottom line of things. I graduated after 4 years in Odyssey House. Now that is a hell of a tough rehab. Apparently it's the hardest rehab to graduate from in New Zealand. And I'm pretty proud I was doing that. My brother came back from out of the country and slapped me around the head when I got discharged for making a mistake when I was in there, but I went back, faced it.
Tough love.
4 years was a long time.
So what Brent's talking about there is he had 2 goes at Odyssey House. Okay, so he went in there twice. First time wasn't successful. Second time he went back and passed out. But while I was there, I visited Brent whenever I could because I was overseas. There were people that were there that had a choice of that were druggies, that were either do Odyssey House or go to prison. And a lot of people chose prison because it was the easier option. So, it's just a sad state of affairs on that aspect. Anyway, that's enough for the video this week. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your questions as well. If you've got any questions you want to ask Brent or I, feel free to post them on the Facebook page, and we'll do that.
They will be answered.
Brent's not on the internet at the moment, but I'll make sure that he gets a chance to answer them as well. So feel free to ask as many questions as you want, and we look forward to releasing another video for you as we keep developing things. Have a great week, and look after yourselves. Make the right choices in your life. Think before you act.
Exercise too. Go for a run. Truly.
Have a great day. Cheers, guys.